Alright, what's up guys? I hope you're doing well. James here from jamesdforsythe.com, and I wanted to take a few minutes to go over some kind of CBDC news, right? Because normally most of the stuff that I have on this channel related to central bank digital currencies are pretty much just like, this is how they work, the different kind of theories behind them and so on. But I haven't gone over too much news, really, besides like Federal Reserve member speeches and that sort of things. Like if a Fed president or a FOMC member comes out and does a speech and talks about them, then that's pretty much it. But I wanted to go through and do some more news-like articles as well, kind of getting a general sentiment on how they're probably being used throughout the world at this point. So I came across an article, which as always will be linked in the description. Basically, and this is from CoinGeek, and it's about Japan's credit bureau is going to pilot CBDC cards ahead of a full-scale launch. Right, so they're kind of having another little pilot program. Looks like the BOJ, the Bank of Japan, is a part of it to some degree, but to say explicitly, so Japan Credit Bureau, the JCB, a credit card company operating out of Tokyo, has announced that it will test a central bank digital currency, CBDC infrastructure. Dubbed the JCBDC project, the Bureau says it will leverage its existing credit card infrastructure to achieve its objectives. So this kind of illustrates to a point some of the things we've talked about before, and more like the theory aspect of it, kind of how specifically with like they're leveraging private sector infrastructure to implement a CBDC in a way. And so when I first started reading this, I was kind of confused. I was like, okay, so it's a credit card company. Are they is it like a part somehow of the BOJ or whatever? But it seems like they're kind of, the BOJ is kind of using this, the Japan Credit Bureau in a way, just to kind of use their infrastructure. It seems they're not too explicit in the article on how exactly what the relationship is, but still. But the JCB aims to set things in motion ahead of the national CBDC launch, which is being experimented on by the BOJ. So the BOJ is already kind of having their own thing going on, and the JCB, the credit bureau, is doing the whole credit card aspect of it now. And we'll get into later. Basically, they've been thinking about this since, October 2020 was the earliest attempt by the BOJ to explore CBDCs, was October 2020. And then basically it revealed a 3-phase outline for the development, and that they would kind of be cautious in launching a digital yen, right? And because they didn't recognize the pitfalls that come along with it. So, being said, the governor of the central bank said this wasn't really, they set a tentative date for kind of the full launch of a CBDC in 2026. So it seems like this is what they mean by before full-scale launch in terms of the whole credit card thing. And it seems like I'm not 100% sure on, like, again, the relationship between the BOJ and the JCB on how exactly they're dealing with this. And it's not just the JCB. There's 2 other companies involved. Specifically a French tech firm called IDEMIA, so IDEMIA. Seems like it's an acronym, but they just give the acronym itself. And then basically this company specializes in augmented identities to clients in public security, finance, and telecommunications. And then there's also a Malaysian fintech company called Softspace that are in there as well. So it's kind of a 3-company joint project in a way. So keeping that in mind, this whole credit card project basically has 3 arms, according to the public statement from the JCB. And so it says the first being utilization of touch payment infrastructure, and then the second, the provision of plastic cards for a CBDC, and then finally, the building of simulated CBDC handling environment. Okay. And again, they don't really go too far in depth on what exactly that means, but it just kind of, these are the arms, and it's just more of a news article. But basically it seems like this is just another credit card. It's just they're using apparently the BOJ CBDC to do it, it seems. And then basically, let's see, they plan to develop a payment solution by the end of 2022 and conduct demonstration experiments at actual stores until the end of March 2023. to verify the technology and eliminate problems. Excuse me. And so this is not the first time they've showed that they've been experimenting with this, and then they collaborated with a Japanese name Fujitsu Laboratories on a digital identity interoperability system using blockchain, right? And so again, without knowing the technicalities and kind of the nuances of this whole system for digital identity and that sort of thing, you know, kind of raises eyebrows, at least for me. And that's something I've talked about quite a few times on this channel, in various other videos, talking more about the theory and some of the kind of the costs that come along with such a thing and pitfalls. But without knowing the exact, it's hard to gauge intent with just one sentence without going too much further in depth, right? And if I come across something like that, I'll make a video about it as well. So, making sure I'm not forgetting anything. So this, let's see, the former head, I guess, yeah, to conclude, the former head of the BOJ, let's see. So his name is, I don't know if it's a him, to be honest. I'm terrible with Japanese names. Sorry, but Hiromi Yamaku, former head of the BOJ's Financial Settlement Department, warned against the issuance of the digital yen over concerns about negative interest rates and the underlying threats to the nation's financial stability. Those two pitfalls, I'll say, are something I have talked rather in depth with on various videos throughout this channel on how easy it would be for a CBDC to take negative or interest rates negative, right? It's just something you gotta keep in mind, because especially if they make it difficult to get out of, and that's the whole kind of idea behind the program, if I could speak, programmable money, so to speak, right? Of basically they can control that, and it's like, it's one of those things. Is it account based? Is it kind of a token in and of itself? Like how exactly is it going to work? In terms of how that's specifically related to Japan, I don't know. It says nothing about it, but maybe we'll kind of find that out in future videos, so to speak, as I kind of do more research and figure it out more. But yeah, so Japan's going into this sort of thing, and it looks like this part's just the credit card aspect of it. So it's something to keep in mind, because there's a bunch of other countries that are doing it as well. I found a few other ones trying to, something with the BIS, obviously not a country, but, and then Turkey is another one that I started kind of looking into, but that one's more of just the basic beginnings of the research, so to say. But anyways, I'm going to leave this one here. So I hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you on the next one.